You know, we think of AI as this incredibly smart thing, right? But what if I told you it can get tripped up by logic so simple a little kid would get it instantly? Today, we're diving into some fascinating research that's trying to get AI to think less like a machine processing words and more like a human understanding ideas. This is a fundamental shift, so let's get right into it.
Okay, so let's try a quick thought experiment. Imagine we tell an AI a simple fact. The son of Michael is John. Pretty straightforward. Our brains immediately map out that family tree.
So if the AI knows that, does it automatically get the flip side? Does it know that the father of John is Michael? I mean, for us, that's not even a question. It's the exact same piece of information, just said a different way. Well, and this is the crazy part. For a lot of today's most powerful AI models, the answer is no. They completely fail this test. They can memorize the fact in one direction, but they can't infer the reverse. It's because they're just seeing a pattern of words, not the actual relationship behind those words. And yep, there's actually a name for this weird glitch. It's called the reversal curse. It's a perfect example of how an AI can be an amazing mimic of language without actually truly understanding it. So, how do you fix something like that? Well, to find a solution, the researchers looked for inspiration from the best language processor we know of, the human brain. See, when you and I read a sentence, we're not just scanning a long, boring string of text characters. Our brain is doing something way more sophisticated. Think about it. As we read, we build this mental model of the situation. We form a complete idea, what you might call a gestalt. We grab the core concept, we store that, and here's the wild part. We usually forget the exact words almost immediately. It's the idea, the meaning, that sticks with us. And that is the key insight behind the new approach in this research. It's called the thought gestalt model, and it's an AI designed to mimic that human process by thinking in whole sentences, in whole thoughts, not just one word at a time. So here's a look at how it actually works. Instead of just plowing through a massive wall of text, the thought gestalt model takes it one sentence at a time. It reads a sentence, digests the meaning, and then compresses that meaning into a tidy little package of data. They call it a thought vector, and it tucks that away in its working memory. But here's the secret sauce, the thing that makes this so powerful. As the model reads new sentences, it actually goes back and updates its understanding of the previous ones. It's constantly refining its memory of old ideas based on new information. It's a much more dynamic and, frankly, human-like way of learning. Okay, so that's the theory, and it sounds great, but does it actually work any better in practice? To find out, the researchers set up a showdown. The new thought gestalt model versus a standard architecture, GPT-2. The big question is, does this whole thinking in thoughts thing really give the AI an edge? Does it actually make a difference? Oh yeah, the results are incredibly clear. On these graphs, a lower score is better. It means the model made fewer mistakes. And as you can see, the thought gestalt model, that blue line, is consistently beating the standard GPT model in red. It's just a more efficient learner. And to put some hard numbers on that efficiency, for a standard model to get the same results, you'd have to feed it way more training data or build a much bigger and more complicated model. This new architecture just gets more bang for its buck. Okay, so let's circle back to our original problem, that reversal curse. How do they do there? Well, this graph shows the standard GPT-2 model. Sure, it gets better at just repeating the information it was given, but when you ask it to reverse the information, it barely improves. It's still getting it wrong almost all the time. But now, check out the thought gestalt model. It's a completely different story. It gets better at both tasks. As it sees more data, its ability to understand the reversed relationship, that solid line there, just keeps getting better and better. It's actually learning that son of Michael and father of John are two sides of the very same coin. And this chart here just hammers the point home. It shows the reversal error, and you can see plain as day that the standard model is making way more mistakes. The thought gestalt model is just fundamentally better at grasping the underlying logic.
So after all that, what's the big picture here? Why does any of this matter beyond just passing one very specific kind of test?
Well, this is way bigger than just fixing one quirky little bug. This is a step towards building AI that actually thinks a little more like we do. An AI that forms a coherent, common-sense model of the world from the language it reads, which should lead to much more robust and reliable reasoning down the line. The researchers themselves put it perfectly in their paper. They said, language functions as a serial code for communicating underlying thoughts, rather than the constitutive medium of thought itself.
In other words, language is the delivery truck, not the package. And by teaching AI to see that, we get closer to an AI that truly understands.
And that really leaves us with the big, crucial question for the entire field. As we build these incredibly powerful systems, what's the real goal? Are we satisfied with teaching them to be brilliant parrots, just mimicking human language? Or are we really on the path to creating something that can genuinely understand?